Why are so many Americans broke? Well, let's just have an honest conversation about faking being rich versus really being rich. I'm reminded of a quote in The Millionaire Next Door: big hat, no cattle. Folks, you're broke because you are outliving your lifestyle. Dion, this was a topic you brought up. Give it to us.
It's one of those ones that I would say concerns me the most, because in YouTube University, I interact with people who are making financial decisions to make their future better. Mm-hmm. But outside of YouTube University, I am surrounded by friends and family for decades who are fake rich.
Yeah.
They have the big house. They have the nice vacation. They don't understand. So there's this premise I go off, like, if something costs me a certain amount of money that I could invest and get a 10% return on, it's costing that 10% forever. So if I buy $1,000 thing, am I okay with losing $100 a year for life to have this thing? It's not the $1,000 now, it's the $100 a year for life. And they keep doing the same things: the big house, the big RV, the big boat, the nice vacation. And they don't even think, okay, I had this money, I could have invested it. It's money they're spending on credit.
Oh.
So it's not the $1,000 to buy the thing. It's the $1,000 at 23% on the credit card to buy the thing. And so I wanted to get your guys' opinions. Outside of YouTube University, we're interacting with each other and the people who are watching that are trying to have a better financial future. And they're doing things like, I use my credit card for cash back or points. They don't use it to carry from one month to the next. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, what's that look like?
Matt?
I mean, most people have no clue how to use a credit card. They literally have no idea how to use one. They use it, they plop it down, and then they pay the minimum payment, or they're like, oh, but I paid $3,000 towards my credit card bill. Awesome. Your bill was $5,000. Who cares? Like you know, and they just don't pay attention to that stuff. And I think, for us, we pay off the balance every single month. Or we pay off the statement balance every single month, better said. Right. And that way we're never incurring interest charges. We're never incurring any of that stuff. But it's interesting to me because I know people that make a lot less money than I do, but I bump into them all the same places that we go. I'm very confused. I don't understand. And then I hear, oh yeah, we just got back from Disney. I said to my wife, I go, I don't understand how people do this Disney trip. Like, it is like, you might as well buy a second house.
Yeah,
like crazy. It is outrageously overpriced in every way, shape, and form, and people are suckers. So I see it in the rental applications that we take every single day. I was telling Mike off camera, I've seen 300 credit scores for the first time in my life this year. I've seen more 4s than I've ever seen before. I've seen more 5s than I've ever seen before. I've seen a lot fewer 6s and a lot fewer 7s. And it was funny because some of these people, they've actually applied multiple times for units of mine. And, maybe a year, 2 years, 3 years ago, we have their application from years ago. And I look at it and I was like, holy crap, they're in a like they had mid 6s and they were debt to income, maybe 40% or so. And now it's, low 5s, debt to income, 55, 60%. It's an outrageous number. Massive car payments, massive insurance payments to go with those car payments. People are like, I have $1,000 car payment. Yeah, you also have a $275 a month car insurance payment.
Yeah,
my man, that's $1,300 a month. You're blowing for your whip. You're out of your mind. Yeah. You're out of your mind, and you're a renter. Oh dear God, what are you thinking? That's what I see.
Yeah, I think there's so many things on this topic. Again, I remember that quote from Millionaire Next Door. I think I was a teenager when I read it. Big hat, no cattle. Because I actually had to go ask my dad what the hell it meant, because I didn't get the reference. Big hat, no cattle. But the other thing that I remember is the first time Olivia and I bought an apartment building. We walked the apartment, because that's what you're supposed to do, right? You walk all the apartments. And this particular apartment building was 18 units, and 14 of the 18 units had big screen TVs. Like, again, this was, God, when was this? Probably 2006, maybe 2007. So again, it wasn't the thin ones that they are today. It was the big kind of, boxy screens. And the reason I bring this up is because I remember talking to Olivia on the way home. It's like, did you notice that they had all these big screen TVs? One of the screens was so big you couldn't walk through the door straight away. You had to turn around. It was like cut off. I was like, what? And oh, by the way, Olivia and I and Teresa, we had one TV and it was like 24 inches. So, 14 of these apartment units had TVs that were monstrous compared to what we were living. That was one example. The other thing that I'm really harping on now is buy now, pay later.
Yeah.
I run into all kinds of people,
Yeah,
casually that think buy now, pay later is a great idea. And I'm like, what? This, right? And the reason they're doing buy now, pay later is because they can't write it on credit. Their credit's already fucked up. They already used it to the max. So now this stuff doesn't show up on credit. I mean, I'm like, what are we doing? I mean, like you're a debt slave. And if you keep acting that way, right, to Dion's point, if you're faking being rich, and here's the last thing I think about this is most people, this is so sad, they're faking being rich to impress people that they don't like. I'm like, you know how much of a moron you have to be to do that? So that's what I think, Dion.
So there's three aspects of this. The first one is there are people who want loud money, and then people want quiet money. Matt, if somebody saw you in town in your vehicle that you drive, your daily vehicle, what would they think you do for work?
They'd probably walk up to me and ask me if I needed any help.
Do you need any money?
Yeah. I know you're not out here with a cup, but do you need any help? They would just probably think I'm a Joe Schmo, like nothing special, because I'm not really anything special, but they would probably just think I'm nothing special.
I met Mike's crew and Gary when we were there.
Yes.
And interacted with them for a bit and did some stuff there. And when we left, one of the guys came up to me, the plumber guy.
Yeah.
Interesting character. And he goes, I had no idea. I just thought you were a regular guy. And I'm like, okay, what did Mike say when I wasn't here?
Yeah.
Because I am just a regular guy.
Yes.
And it was the way that me and Chesla were dressed. We were just normal. We don't, dress like we could go and buy $700 clothing for whatever article we were buying. But that's the thing is the reason we have wealth is because it's not loud.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. So that's one.
Yeah. The second thing is high income doesn't equal success.
Amen. Yes.
So many people that I know, I've got this friend and he got a job as a longshoreman for a while. And now he works at the CDL school. He's an actual friend and he invests in real estate and he's making some smart moves. But when we first used to hang out, he would come and he's like, I got this job at the longshoreman thing. Look at the paycheck. Like how much money there is from this. Is like, I worked 4 hours that day and made $1,800. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's great. What are you doing with it?
Yeah.
Right. If he got permanent work at the longshoreman, I don't think he ever would have invested. And he'd be working into his 70s. And instead, he's got 3 or 4, does short term. I don't know how much longer he needs to work.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a big one for me because again, I work in the Silicon Valley, a lot of IP. Like I've been there for decades. So IPO money, right? .com buzz, all this stuff. Now the AI money is running around. The average NVIDIA employee is worth $30 million. Right. And that's just down the street from me. So I'm around lots of money. But what I think is really, I don't know, between sad and comical is there are people that I routinely socialize with. I wouldn't call them friends, but socialize with, who make 7 figures a year. Right? Stocks, this is just how it rolls sometimes, right?
Sure.
And most of them, I shouldn't say most, that's an over exaggeration. I would say a quarter of them, so 25%, couldn't write a $10,000 check without afraid it would bounce.
Ooh.
And I think that is disgusting. Like, let me be very clear. If you are lucky enough, talented enough to be working in the Silicon Valley and making $500,000 a year or more, and you do that for a decade, if you are not financially free at the end of that decade, you're an idiot. You're just an idiot. I mean, it's mind numbing. You make so again, let's do the math. $500,000 a year, which in the Silicon Valley is not a crazy salary. It's just not. You times that by 10, that's $5 million.
If you didn't get a raise.
If you didn't get a raise, that's it's flat 5. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
If you're not financially free at the end of that, you're an idiot and you have a spending problem. And believe me, there's a lot of idiots in the Valley. It's crazy to me.
I think there's a math equation there for almost any market that people live in.
There is.
If you live in Gary, Indiana, and you make $80,000 a year, if you're not financially free in 10 years, you're an idiot. If you live in near Tacoma, Washington, and you make $105,000 a year and you're not financially free in 10 years, you're an idiot.
That's right.
I think we need to hit that more, because you're absolutely right. If you take that to the area average, and whatever the area average is, and you double it, that's a great point, right? I don't know what Gary's average is, but it's got to be like 35 or 40K. So if you double that to 80, you're absolutely right. If you make more than 2x your local median salary, you're a moron or an idiot if you're not financially free in 10 years. I love
Which
that.
brings me to the third one, and the final one. It's fake wealth, fake rich versus real rich. Fake rich doesn't have an exit plan.
No, it's called hope. They're going to hope they keep their job. They're going to hope this. They're going to hope that. Again,
Bankruptcy.
Folks, the talk I'll give at Bigger Pockets, one of the slide has a wheel, like a wheel, like, hamster wheel. That's what it's called. And the more you spend, the bigger the wheel gets, which means it takes more effort and force to move the wheel. And it also means if somebody sticks a stick in the wheel and stops it, you're going to freaking die. Watch the wheel. Stop making it so big.
So how do you get people that you interact with to understand what an exit plan is?
Small nuts. You need a small nut. You got a small nut. You just have, I mean, we own the cars that we drive.
Yep.
We don't own our house, but I'm not going to pay off 3% debt or 3.5% debt, because if I got to go use 6, 7, and 8% debt to buy something, I'd be a fool to pay off 3.5 or 3.75 debt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really just getting in and doing the work and having a plan. I mean, sometimes financial advisors, they don't find a financial advisor, one that actually has clients that do real estate and stocks. They do everything together. They can help you manage that 401k. I have a 401k that's just sitting there, and the guy's like, "What do you want me to do with it?" And I go, "Be aggressive like I'm 19 years old." He's like, "What?" I go, "If it goes boom, boom, I don't care. It's money that's sitting there that I haven't even thought about. And quite frankly, if when I'm ready to retire, there's $3 million there or $3 in there, it doesn't make a difference. It's not going to impact my lifestyle at all." I think people have to get far more focused. And that's one of the things that they'll start to see. Most of the people, if you lived through the great financial crisis and you were of age, that makes you 36, 38 years old. Think about that. 36 to 38 years old. They have no idea. Younger than that, they think tough times is getting the wrong Starbucks order. Like, they have no idea what a down economy, what adjusting for these things entails. And I think that people are going to have to get cheaper. They're going to have to live far more within their means. Otherwise, you're never able to get, if you're always buying forward, if you're always buying aspirationally, the problem that you'll have is that you're never going to be able to retire with enough, because you spent your entire life having more than what you should have had. So I think people are just going to have to get far more focused on their own, on their own mortality, financial mortality, if you will. Because I think that there's going to be a wave, and it's good that they're holding people accountable for student loans. That's a good thing. You signed it, you agreed to it, you got paid to do it, you went and you did it, and now it's time to pay the bill. And if you don't like that, tough shit, you ran it up. So I think that there's just going to be a level of financial accountability there. And does that mean that, a women's studies with a master's degree, does that mean that she can never buy a house? Yeah, probably. You chose it.
So if I can use this as an example as to why the viewers are so important. Well, at least to me, that we each might have our own reason why they're important, but this is one of the reasons they're important to me. And the people I'm about to talk about don't really watch content longer than shorts on mine. So my son now, he got married at $56,000 in debt from student loans. Mm-hmm. His spouse is really good with money. Year and a half later, debt free. They've saved up the down payment for a duplex twice. Disneyland, California, first one gone. Disneyland, Japan, second one gone. So you're right, Matt. You could take the down payment for a house or a duplex and take a Disneyland trip. Oof. They don't have kids.
No,
this is just them.
That's awful.
Okay, so that's the first one. The second one, my brother is the person Matt was talking about. I have a brother who is visiting from California. He lives in California, and he's very proud because he's successful. He's running a business. He makes good money. He has no investments, but he's paid off his house. So he has a successful business that takes his physical manual labor. It's a tree service. He's the climber, he's the faller, he's the topper, and his house is paid off. His one asset that could have debt less than inflation is paid off. And no one, he buries coffee cans full of money. That's his investing strategy. And then there was a third one too, an example like that of people who are close to me, who matter to me, who I can't impact, who they can't listen to a word I said. I sent this to my brother. He says, "That's awesome. I do need some way to put myself to sleep at night. Thanks for sending that to me." That was his answer. But when we interact with viewers, people that we wouldn't know if we didn't have this platform, and we get on here and then they go, "Okay, this is what you said. Here's how I implement it. Look at the change in my life."
Yep.
That's super powerful to me.
Agreed.
Yep. That's why we show up each and every day. Again, I when I think about the people I interact with, I think I steal one. I forget who said it first. We've all said it a lot, but I'm not in the convincing business. I live a great life. I live out loud. I share.
That's Matt. Matt's the coiner of that. Yep.
There you go. Thank you, Matt. And, if you are interested in a lifestyle like Olivia and I have, great. We can talk about it, but it's not fun. The first 5 years suck. It's all the standard stuff, but I'm not going to be in the convincing business. Right. Right. This presentation I give now, and we'll give it bigger pockets. One of the very first slides says, you have to believe it's possible. I think a lot of people don't think building wealth is possible. They think the game is rigged. They think they have no chance. So they take their pennies and they fake being rich. I think that's what we have. We have lost hope. We have lost the ability to sacrifice. We want immediate endorphin hits. And if that's what you want, great. Just get away from me. I don't want to be around you. So again, I think most people are addicted to that dopamine hit and they've given up. And I think that's a sad state of affairs. Dion, where can they find you? Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Dion.
They can find me on YouTube, usually not with such frustration in my voice, but this one mattered to me. Dion Talk Financial Freedom, where a live stream is every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific.
Matt, closing thoughts and where they find you?
Yeah, this is why we do this. We don't need the money. We do it because we like helping people, because when we help them get their win, it's like us getting a win.
Yeah. I actually get more excited when somebody gets their first deal than I buy another deal.
Absolutely. Why wouldn't we? Right. I mean, it's like, we've done this 100 and something times, like whatever, like, okay, cool. And there's no nervousness to it. And you're like, you do realize you just spent $500,000. Yeah. I don't care. It's like, it's a thing. Like it's just going to process. But when you see somebody like finally, get over the hump, like when Chester bought his first, or, there's a long list, but you see them, people buy their first and then buy their second and their third and their fourth and their fifth, old REI guy, or, the list is long and distinguished, but it's just awesome to watch. And so it's great to be a part of it. So if you want to be a part of that community, come check me out on Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time, Lumberjack Landlord, where I'll just answer a bunch of your questions. And Dion forgot to plug his show, which is 7 p.m. Eastern time, 4 p.m. Pacific on Tuesdays.
Folks, at the end of the day, if you're on this channel in our combined communities, you are an everyday wealth builder, whether you like it or not. I suggest you own that. It's an empowering thing to say because it means you understand the cost of sacrifice, momentum building, compounding, all of that good stuff. We are everyday wealth builders. Later.